And then my son dies from drugs. He wasn't an addict. Like, you wouldn't look at him and think, oh, he's an addict, he's out there using drugs and everything.
Right.
He liked to use drugs, obviously, you know, when he went to go party or when he was doing his music and doing those things, you know. But the drugs, and because I questioned him, am I really the one to do this? Like, I've not ever been addicted to drugs. Like, how am I the one to do this?
Yeah.
And he assured me that he chose me for this. And so in this, I started a No to Dope, Yes to Hope Instagram page where I just post encouraging messages, poems, or anything that God has given me, because he gave me also poems. That's how I got through a lot of my grieving, is I would write it down. But it was like strategic poems that he would give me, because he would give me the words to write them on that No to Dope and yet Dear Drug Dealer video,
Yeah.
that one, he gave me the words, because I heard Dear Drug Dealer and I was like, huh? And then I heard it again, and so I wrote it down, and then he just started giving me the words, and I started writing it, and I wrote it like in 2 days.
Wow.
And I was like, wow. So he gave that to me, and then whenever like a memorial mark would come down, like this was the marking of the memorial, like his birthday, my son's birthday, or his anniversary of his death, you know, then I would write something to him, and I wrote a grief poem about what grief was to me, how we could be in a room full of people and I would still feel lonely.
Yes.
How everyone around me was laughing, but it still sounded so quiet because it wasn't his laugh, you know. And how, you know, just little things that I felt during this year now, that was on the year mark that I wrote that point. This year without you now, this is how it's been for me.
And how was it to write to him too?
Oh, it was so relieving. Like, I was getting it out, and it was healing. It was healing.
Yes.
It was healing to be able to write these things down. And I would write them down, and of course sometimes the sheet would be filled with tears, you know?
Yeah.
But it was like letting it out, letting it go. Remember, I know who God is. I trust God, and my God is good no matter what. He's a good God, and he can get us through anything, and he's still God no matter what goes on around us. He's still God.
Yeah.
But he is a loving and a compassionate God as well. And I know that he does not look down on us if we're crying or if we're missing someone.
No.
You know? So it's okay. I had already learned that it's okay. So I allow myself those times to cry, because that purpose is, again, like it's coming, the No to Dope.
Yes.
So I go and reach out. So we're started this life group. So that's one of the fruits that's coming out of it.
Yes.
Started a life group with our church. It's called, it was No to Dope and Yes to Hope, but they changed the name. I was like, they had to kind of bring me to more,
No to Dope, Yes to Hope.
But they changed the name for the life group, and it's called Healing from Addiction, right? And so we started this life group. So we meet twice a month, and the first week and the last week of each month on Thursdays, right?
Yes.
And so the first week it's solely for devotion and sharing, and I tell them, you can share as deep as you want to go.
Yes.
That's up to you, or you don't have to share at all. But we just have a small devotion, share with each other, and then it's prayer. We want to pray for the needs of everyone there, and for the needs of those out in the street that are lost and hurting, you know, and that are bound by any types of addiction, families, whatever it is. And so then the last week of the month, we go out and hit the streets, and we're just going to share God's love. That's it. Just share God's love. Give out some gospels. I made like No to Dope and Yes to Hope bracelets that have the Isaiah 49:21 on there, where it says, for those who hope in the Lord will not be disappointed. So sorry about my stomach. But so we're going to give out those bracelets, give out some little gospel tracts and stuff, and just ask them, what do you need prayer for? On my son's birthday this year, in June, I was like, everybody kept saying, what are we going to do for Mark's birthday? What are we going to do for his birthday? And I was trying to think, and I'm like, okay, should we just release balloons and stuff? And I said, I want to go minister. And I said, they were like, what? I was like, I'm going to go minister on his birthday. So it was me, my husband, and then another friend of mine. We went out, and we went out to 6th Street. We parked under the bridge there.
Yes.
We went out there. We met up, and that's what I wanted to do for my son's birthday. I wanted to give honor to him by educating people, by praying with people, by helping people. So went out there and we ministered to a lot of people, and it was so beautiful. Like, I just shared with them, hey, my son passed away from drugs, like, 2 years ago, and this is his birthday, and I want to come out here and share God's love, and what is it that I can pray for you for? And so many people were opening to it and receiving to it. And let us pray for them, give them information on how to get clean, so that's one of the No to Dope and Yes to Hope. Is a resource place to where we can give out resources and places for faith-based, not regular rehab homes where you go in and they give you medication to get off the medication, to get off the drugs, It's faith-based homes, because I am a real believer in the faith-based homes. My mother was a product of a woman's home. She was an addict and an alcoholic for many, many years. She went through a woman's home in Victory Outreach, got clean, and has been serving God now for 19 years now, I think. Yeah.
Wow.
So she's has another chance on raising a son and another son, she's adopted 2 children, but God cleaned her life up. She's not on the drugs, not on the dope, and it was through a home. And there's faith-based homes that I have resources, and they're listed on that page.
On her No to Dope,
on the No
Yes
to
to
Dope.
Dope.
It's
No
an
to
Instagram.
Dope, Yes to Hope.
Yeah.
Instagram. And I'll put it in the description so you can have that handle and connect with Veronica there.
And soon we'll be adding more testimonies. I'm just not tech savvy, so I haven't been able to upload the testimonies, but sure, soon we'll be doing that. More testimonies of the power of God and how he set people free from drugs. And I'm talking about hardcore drugs, like heroin addicts that have been heroin addicts for 25 years. A lot of people say that once a drug addict, always a drug addict. I don't believe that. That is not true. He says that when we come to him, we give our life to him, that all things have passed away, all old things passed away, and we are new creations in him. Therefore, that addiction, that title does not belong to us anymore, right? So that's with the No to Dope, and that's one of the fruits that came out of this is No to Dope and Yes to Hope, and doing this life group for healing from addiction, and going out and ministering to the people that are out there in the street. And we're not just targeting addicts, but that's who you find out there, But yes, if we see just a normal person walking by, of course we're going to share the word with them, But that's where the Lord, and also my next, what I'm praying for, and I know God's going to bring it to pass. One of my sisters that I know, it already, God used her to open the door, but one of my things that the Lord put in my heart is to get into the elementary schools and into the junior high schools. To bring prevention education to them. A lot of people go into the high schools, but usually when you're into the high schools, you're already doing rehabilitation, right? And they've already started it because they're starting so young now. And so I'm praying, and I know God's going to bring that fruit to pass. And we're going to be able to get in there and speak to the young kids. And if we can save 1 out of 10 and keep them from doing drugs, then it's all worth it, or keep them from thinking the lifestyle of a drug dealer is good, because they're both addicts, They're both addicts, but
Thank you, Veronica.